It is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. I'm ManeEvent Mike filling in for Russell Wayne. 38-6, Russell a little dejected. He's on his way back. Maybe we'll get him on the show. I don't know. If you want to be on the show or if you want your comment read, I'll do my best. Put your comment in. Say hello. It's ManeEvent Mike filling in for Russell Wayne. It's Football Talk with Russell Wayne on the Main Event. Be sure to like the video that you're watching. Go over to our YouTube at ManeEvent365 or follow us on the Detroit Lions Villain Squad on Facebook. Let's get right into it, right? Detroit Lions fall to the Baltimore Ravens 38-6, bringing their record to 5-2. Hey, 5-2 after 7 games, I'll take it. I would have liked the game to be a lot closer. I would have liked the Lions to have been a lot more competitive, but they were not. They were outcoached, outplayed on all 3 phases, both sides of the ball for sure. Couldn't get anything going on offense. The defense was allowing Lamar Jackson to just do whatever he wanted. And by the way, Lamar looked fantastic. I don't want to take anything away from Lamar Jackson. Excuse me. That was the best I've seen Lamar look since 2019, his MVP season. It seemed like on defense, the Detroit Lions were just out of sorts on every play. Everything that the Baltimore Ravens did worked. Every misdirection fooled the Lions. We saw Aiden Hutchinson bite on the play fake terribly, 2 straight plays. Just everything that they did, they were able to have success against the Lions. Facebook user says, good morning, brother. Be sure to allow StreamYard permissions to use your name and your icon, and then we'll know who we're talking to. So good morning, Scotty Reno. Every team has a bad game. That's absolutely sure. Rajneesh, our Bears fan, back in here after a nice victory. Rajneesh, what's up, fellas? Right on. ManeEvent Mike doing this thing for you. Put it in the comment. Let me know what you want to talk about. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through all of these stats that I got in my analysis of the game. Scotty Reno says at least Green Bay lost too. For sure, Scotty, that is the silver lining this week, that the Green Bay Packers fall to one of the worst teams in the league, Denver Broncos, able to get their first home victory for Sean Payton against the Packers. Jordan Love with a chance at the end, but he throws an interception that seals the deal. The Packers fall to the Broncos 19-17. Bears, big winners against Las Vegas Raiders. They win 30-12 at home, giving them their second victory of the year. So the Chicago Bears bringing it on. I'm happy for it. I'm glad to see it. The Bears deserve it. Glad to see some progress. They win a game without Justin Fields. Tyson Bagent looked pretty good. He had a passer rating of 97.2. Before we jump around too much, I want to stick with this Lions game. We'll do the analysis of the Bears and the Packers immediately after that. We got one Facebook user saying, what's up, ManeEvent Mike? What's up, Facebook user? Michael White says, please discuss J-Mo and trading him, maybe for defensive end Garrett, Bosa, Hunters, Wilkins, Burns, or Sweat, etc. Boy, if we did have that conversation, you might get Russell Wayne on here a hell of a lot faster if we start talking about trading Jameson Williams. I don't see that happening. He's still on a rookie contract. We control him. We have nothing to lose. We might be able to get something if we can get some production out of him. Let's face it, Mike, if we were to trade J-Mo right now, we're not going to get as much for him as if he has at least one decent season. So let's hold on to J-Mo. I think we're doing okay in that regard. One Funky Lions fan says this team as a whole looked awful. When I talk about Goff's lack of arm strength, that's first half is what I'm talking about. Luckily, we only have one more game that's not in a dome. Yeah, and Jared Goff's struggles outdoors on the road has always been a point of emphasis for the Goff haters. Let's take a quick look at Goff's stats here. Goff 33 of 53 for 284 yards, 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. He had a rating of 68.4. That's his worst rating of the year. On the road against a good team, a lot of the Lions haters are going to say, see, we told you that's what this Lions team is. Once you play someone good, you get smoked. And, you can't argue with it. All we can do is move on, take it, eat a big spoonful of shit, and take it as Lions fans. This is still the best Lions team I've seen in my lifetime. We're still 5-2 and in control of this division. Our back half of our schedule is still looking pretty soft. We got some division opponents that aren't playing real well that we can definitely pick up some wins. So at 5-2, I'll take it. Jahmyr Gibbs had his first rushing touchdown, or his first touchdown as a pro. He looked pretty good running the ball. Dan Campbell said in his post-game press conference he liked how Jahmyr Gibbs looked. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries, 68 yards. That's a 6.2 average, as we said, with one touchdown. He also contributed 58 receiving yards. So real nice to see Gibbs with about 120 yards from scrimmage total. Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to be the best player on this team. Let's face it, 13 catches, 102 yards. And even the Sun God had a bad game. He dropped a few balls yesterday. Total rushing yards for the Lions, only 84 yards. They weren't able to get 100 yards, but don't let that fool you. They were not that successful. A lot of that came in garbage time. By halftime, this game was over. Midway through the second quarter, there was a stat popped up on the screen. The Ravens had 200 yards, total yards. The Lions had 22 yards. So it was really reminiscent for me of what the Lions did in Lambeau this year in the first half, where they just came out swarming. The Baltimore Ravens scored on every drive in the first three possessions. The Lions go 3 and out in the first three possessions. They didn't even get a first down till almost halftime. They start to get something cooking there near the half. They get called for 2 bad penalties on a third and 7, I believe, a third and 8 or something. And then they get a penalty. It makes it 4th and 15. They convert the 4th and 15, and then they get another penalty on Penei Sewell. So that was really tough because we did get the ball to open the third quarter. We were hoping that we'd be able to get something going. Kneecap biting with our good friend Jeremy B. You should come in, Jeremy B, and talk to me. Congratulations for the Bears. Packer fans need to stymie the Lions being frauds. The Lions lost to a playoff team. Packers lost to the Broncos. One Funky Lions fan says the wind was pushing the Ducks all over the place. I think he's talking about Jared Goff's passes. I definitely saw that, but hey, we can't use that excuse. Look how good Lamar looked. Lamar looked good. I mean, that's the real story of this game for me. No pressure on Lamar. Men didn't hold their assignments, sealed the edge. He's able to slip out the back door. He had as much as the one touchdown pass that he had in the back of the end zone. He had 11 seconds back there to throw the ball. On average, he was averaging 5 or 6 seconds in the pocket. You can't expect your secondary guys to cover that long. That, to me, was the real story of the game. The 2 losses we have this year for Detroit, we couldn't get any pressure on Geno Smith. We couldn't get any pressure on Lamar Jackson. I know the Lions haters are going to say running quarterbacks always do this to us, but I don't think Lamar's feet were really an issue. He had 36 rushing yards. Lamar had 21 of 27. That's the real issue here. That is uber efficient. The guy normally throws at a 70% clip. That is pushing 80%, folks. 21 of 27. 357 yards. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. A passer rating insane. 155.8. Unbelievable. Total rushing yards for the Ravens, 146 yards. They were able to run the ball on us, while our total rushing yards was 84, mostly in garbage time. So the Ravens, the formula we always talk about, they're able to run the ball, and they're able to stop the run. All right, let's get to some of these comments. Jacob Steinhausen says BJ needs to utilize Gibbs' strength more. He also says 1 toss play, and he busts a TD. Yeah, against second stringers, though, Jacob. Come on. The Ravens had pulled all the frontline starters. The game was over. It was out of reach. Besides that, he's been hurt. All right, he's been hurt. This was his first game back. No David Montgomery. You can't knock the job that David Montgomery's been doing. Jeremy says trading J-Mo cost the team over $20 million in dead cap. Let's say do a Millen type of trade without saying it's a Millen type of trade. I love that take. Send the leak. It's in the comments, Jeremy. Let's see if I can put it in here again. Control V, enter. And there it is. There is the comments. There is the link for in the comments. Join the show. We'll get you on. We got Jake Stenheisen wanted to be in. Jake, you'll need to connect your microphone and your camera before I add you to the stream. And there he is. There is our good friend, Jeremy Ballright. Welcome, Jeremy B. on X, formerly Twitter. He's also a writer for the South Florida Tribune, and he's a diehard Lions fan. Welcome to the program, This is what we call the good-looking show.
Yeah, this was not the best looking we've seen our Lions. It was our worst game played. That being said, like I said, it was a playoff team. This is a team that's expected to represent the AFC in the playoffs. Have we struggled against AFC teams in the past? Go look at our record the past 2 seasons under Dan Campbell. If you go back further, it was worse. I mean, let's face it, the Lions have won one game at Baltimore in the history since the Baltimore Ravens became a team in 1996. So, did I want us to win? Yes. Have the Lions peaked? Uh, how can you say I sound like I don't watch football making that statement?
I don't know where you're getting that from, but that's okay.
Rajneesh Omar came in and said that in the comments.
Yeah, he's a Bear fan. Don't worry, they'll lose a couple more games and they'll go underground again. That's what happens. But I like that take though, Jeremy. You also said in the comments that Jared had to throw the ball high to go deep. He lacks elite arm strength. We know this. Lamar can throw the ball on a rope, but you know what? Lamar didn't just throw the ball on the rope. He had touch passes.
I'm talking about
he looked really good.
He looked like really good.
And he looked like the best quarterback on the field. I know Jared's had the knock about not having arm strength, but we did see him in last game, a couple of games, throwing the ball really well deep. I think, like Dan Campbell said in his post-game press conference, Jeremy, just one of those games, one of those things that happen. They'll get back on track. They're going to use this as motivation. What do you think of that?
We just didn't come out with the same fire that we did the last 6 weeks in a row. We held our own against Seattle, a playoff team from last season, and expected to be a playoff team this year. We definitely held our own versus Kansas City, and I don't care who was on the field. You play the team you're scheduled against. Gibbs was a top 12 pick, yes, but he wasn't picked to be the RB1. He was picked to be inserted into lineup and used in certain situations versus David Montgomery, who was signed to be the RB1 because he was given the exact same deal that we gave to Jamal Williams before he decided to take less money with the New Orleans Saints.
Mm-hmm. Bear Down Mike in the comments says, I thought Lions would have made it a fight. Did not see that coming. Tough loss. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, Bear Down Mike. Let me tell you that. We did not see that coming. I really would have liked the Lions to have been competitive in this game. It really would have made me feel a lot better about the loss. I am a little concerned about how wide open some of those wide receivers were. I get that he had a lot of time in the pocket, but on the quick hitting plays, their guys were wide open too. There were a lot of missed assignments on defense. Like you said, Jay, we did not come out with the intensity on defense that we have been coming out with in the last few games. Rajni says, has the Lions peaked? No, I don't think so. We haven't played the Bears or the Vikings yet, and the Packers only once. You're going to see a peak there when we're playing division opponents. Also, the Lions come back on Monday night against a bad Raiders team on Monday night at Ford Field. I think you're going to see a completely different team than what you saw in Baltimore last week. What do you think of that?
We will see a different team because I'm quite sure Dan Campbell's going to light a fire under those players' asses.
Right. Corey Patterson says Goff's arm is terrible. Is horrible.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How can you say I haven't watched Jared Goff all season? He was the number 1 rated quarterback in the league prior to this game. Stop the insanity.
Say I don't watch football without saying I don't watch football.
Right. And also, it's hard to catch the ball when it's coming straight up and down like it's set on a tee. It didn't do that the whole game. What I'm saying is his errant throws is when you throw that thing up in the air like that. That's what blows when you got 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts and you're basically arcing it over the top of the stadium because you don't have the frozen rope type of arm strength.
Right, absolutely. One funky Lions fan says Jerry Jacobs was missed, said no one ever. And I don't ever want to see Will Harris again. Dan Campbell said in his presser, though, he did not mind seeing Will out there. He knows Will's a competitor. He's a scrappy guy. He's a scrappy guy. And, the defense is going to play better than that. The defense made a lot of improvements over last year. We got a lot of people in the comments calling for more defensive line help. I don't see that. We just didn't get pressure on this day. Now, I don't ever want to blame the refs for anything, but I saw a lot of holding on the offensive line for Baltimore. Tyler Linderbaum was holding on almost every play at one section of the game where I noticed him holding. So I started to watch him for like 5 or 6 consecutive plays. He held on every single play.
Didn't matter if it was a Aleem, if it was
Yeah.
Bugs, or a defensive end stunting
Yep.
inside.
I'm not gonna harp on that or give that as an excuse, but it should be noted that all that time that Lamar had in the pocket, all the way that they suppressed Aiden Hutchinson in the pass rush, there was a lot of holding going on both sides of the ball. I saw the Lions holding a lot too. It seemed like they only called them though against the Lions when it was really crucial stuff they had been letting go. They actually called at inopportune times, I would say.
Let's say what we want. This coaching staff love Will Harris, and it doesn't matter how crappy he plays on the field. They defend him every freaking game, and it drives us fans nuts. Because you know what? Will Harris can cover less than a washcloth on a bed. If it wasn't for Isaiah Buggs tipping that ball up, Mike Evans had a 90-yard touchdown last week. He was 15 yards behind him because he was out of position in coverage. So you can say what you want. This soft zone coverage that we did and stayed in the base defense all game.
Yes.
We didn't once go to the nickel. We didn't once go to the dime. We played base defense all freaking game. You know what this was? This was the Seattle game against a better team.
On the road. Right. Absolutely. I love that analysis, Jeremy. We stayed in the base the whole game. We didn't make any adjustments, it seemed like. I mean, like I said, by halftime, the game was over. It reminded me of the Carolina beatdown we took last year. It reminded me of the Lambeau beatdown we gave the Packers this year in the first half. When a team just comes out and swarms, you've got to have a counterpunch. You've got to have an answer. And 3-and-out consecutive series is not the answer.
No.
Jerry Gerard had a good comment here. Go ahead, Jeremy.
The good thing is we didn't give up a turnover till what was it, the second half, when it was garbage time already.
Yeah.
And that was JMO quitting on a route.
Mm-hmm.
JMO was going to be wide open, and he had said, nah, I don't want it. Why is it when we're losing, he does this type of effort? We saw it last year. He quits on routes. He quit on 2 routes. He had 2 horrible drops. They hit him in the hands. Say what you want. I can care less what position the ball is in when it hits you in the hands. You're supposed to freaking catch it. The one went through his hands and hit off his face mask.
Yeah. Yeah. I had bet $25 on Jameson Williams over 1.5 catches.
I said take the under because I just had a weird feeling.
I just wanted to punch myself in the face by the third quarter. What did you do that for, you dummy? So anyway, Jerry Gerard says, are we the team that can beat up the bad teams but not good against the good teams? What do you think of that comment, Jeremy?
Well, wait a minute. We beat the Chiefs already. That's a pretty good fucking team, right?
Is.
Okay. That makes us go back to that statement. How can you say you don't watch football without saying you don't watch football?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers were leading the division when we beat them. They just lost to the Atlanta Falcons.
Packers were leading the division. The Falcons were leading their division. We beat them.
Right.
Are we good enough to beat elite teams? None of us have said that. Beating a good team is different. We've beat good teams. We haven't beat an elite team. Because say what you want, Kansas City is an elite team, but they didn't have their full team on the field, which made them a good team in that game. And it was a 1-point differential.
Right now, we got a lot of comments going here on the Bears game, so we'll transition to that here in just a minute. One Funky Lions fan says the officials were horrible, but Baltimore whooped the Lions regardless of them. Absolutely true. For me, what it was third down. The Lions couldn't stay on the field on third down on offense. They couldn't get off the field on third down on defense. The Lions, a paltry 5 of 16 on third down. That's less than 30%, folks. While the Baltimore Ravens were 4 of 8, 50%, a respectable 50% on third down. The Ravens also 5 of 6 in the red zone. That goes back to what we're saying. You'd give Lamar that much time in the pocket, he's going to find someone and pick you apart.
And the one play you can really blame it on everything going wrong on the same play was when they were 12 yards out. They were up by 7 already. Nelson Aguilar One of the worst wide receivers I've watched in this league over the past 5 years had enough time to run all the way to the left side of the field, then run all the way through the coverage again in the end zone to the right side of the field, while Lamar just sat there and outran everybody that was starting to get pressure.
It was frustrating.
And
And
then
if you watch the
wide
replay
open.
you watch the replay on that one too, Jeremy, you'll see Brian Branch with him the whole way. All of a sudden, he turns his head for just a second, and when he turns his head for just a second, the guy takes off wide open. Discipline, and Dan Campbell talked about it in his post-game press conference. Discipline on defense cost us a lot in this game. Not staying home, and then once you fall behind, you want to over pursue. You want to make things happen. You want to try to go out and make a play, and you abandon your assignment. Lamar slips out the back door. Another big play. So discipline on defense was a definite issue, and I agree with you. I didn't like how they stayed in the scheme. And then we get a real nice comment here. How much do you think the coach's scheme was a factor in secondary coverage? This was from Michael White. The Ravens receivers aren't as good as Tampa's. True, but their quarterback is better. And that makes all the difference in the world, Mike. Thank you for the comment. Thank you, everybody, for the comment. And if you're wherever you're watching this, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, would you? That would be, it doesn't cost anything. Just click like. It really helps us out. And be sure to like the video on the Villain Squad if you're watching there. Subscribe to our YouTube and follow us at Detroit Lions Villain Squad. All right, let's talk about these Bears. The Bears win 30-12 against a Raiders team. They bring in Tyson Bagent, secret Bagent man, comes in 21 of 29, very respectable, with a passer rating of 97.2. He threw for 162 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Aiden O'Connell came in relief, and Brian Hoyer, and he actually had better numbers than Brian Hoyer. But Brian Hoyer, 17 of 32, 129 yards, and two interceptions, a rating of 37.1. When your quarterback is efficient and he plays mistake-free football, you have a much better chance to win, especially when you can rush for 173 yards like the Chicago Bears did. They held the Las Vegas Raiders and last year's rushing champion Josh Jacobs to only 39 yards total rushing. When you got something like that going on, you're stopping the run and you're able to run the ball. Then you get the home cooking of the home crowd. That's a recipe for winning. Can you hear that bing every time my notification goes off?
No.
Okay, good.
That's just for the producers so they know when the comments come up.
Okay. I'm in a survivor pool and everyone lost yesterday, but a couple. So everyone's just going back and forth. I had Buffalo in the survival pool, and who'd have thought they'd have lost to New England? So it's going crazy. I'm glad you guys can't hear it. So Corey says that's another thing, all the hate on AG. Where is it for Ben Johnson? That offense was horrible. Well, calling the plays and executing the plays are two different things, Corey. You got anything to say about that, Jeremy, before we finally transition to the Bears game?
We've had a lot of proof that Ben Johnson is a really good offensive coordinator. And over the past 3 seasons, we have a lot of proof to have question on AG's schemes that he's had with this defense. Because 2 years in a row, we've been a bottom defense. Every year we've gotten better players, and the defense has regressed until this season. And yes, this defense is miles better than anything we've had the past 2 years, but it's miles better in talent. Is it AG or is it because the talent's better?
That's a good one. Bear Down Mike says, Bagent's greatest strength is Justin's worst strength. Do you mean Bagent can throw the ball? Is that what you mean? And he also says Justin's greatest strength is Bagent's worst strength. Does that mean Bagent can't run the ball? I'm confused, Bear Down Mike. You will need to elaborate on that a little bit for us. Let's see here. Rajni says, sounds like the D-Toilet Lions need home field advantage because they can't play outside in January. Yeah, Rajni.
Well, wait, you guys have sucked indoors and out this year. Stop it.
Right. And last year you won 3 games. You were going to change your name to the Chicago Raccoons because you kept getting killed on the road.
Hey, and look, what do they got? 2 this year?
Bear Down Mike says Justin has the arm strength, but he can't get the ball out quickly. Bagent gets the ball out quickly, but no arm strength. Oh, interesting. Bajent gets the ball out quickly, no arm strength. Man, this guy threw for so many yards and touchdowns at college. He's playing in the NFL. I think he's got a strong enough arm. Corey Patterson says, you got a point there, but I think the future is bright for you guys. And I'm saying that now the Packers are the worst team in this division. Whoo, I'm not ready to go that far yet. All right. Russell Wayne Mettler puts in the comments, great show, Mike. The Detroit Lions villain squad depth is outstanding. Yes, our depth is outstanding, but boy, did we get killed on the road yesterday. Real tough. Bear Down Mike says both QBs can use their legs. I think Bajent's accuracy is better on short passes, where Justin's deep ball is incredible. Incredible?
Oh, let's see. He's bottom 5 in completion percentage on balls over 20 yards in his career.
In his career, right.
The only time he completes anything better is balls under his chin.
Ooh.
I couldn't help it.
I'll tell you. Jeremy Ballreich throwing some blows this morning. So I think the real deciding factor here for me for Chicago was third down efficiency. 8 out of 13, folks. That's fantastic on third down. I don't care if it's Bajent or if it's Justin Fields. If you're converting on third down, 8 out of 13, you're keeping the ball out of the other team's hands. I mean, even though the Bears had 9 penalties in this game, 9 penalties, that's hard to overcome. They give up 2 sacks. They have 2 sacks, and they have 9 penalties. They did win the time of possession, 34 minutes to 26 minutes. So you're holding the ball longer. You're able to run the ball. You're able to stop the run of the other team, and you're able to stay on the field on offense on third down. Those are determining factors to me for this a recipe for win for the Chicago Bears to get their second win of the year. Jeremy, what's your number one takeaway from the Chicago win?
It was one crappy team beating another crappy team. Congrats.
Oh, Jeremy is in savage mode this morning.
I'm tired of the bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a 3-game lead in this division, and we got fans of bottom dwellers in the NFL, not just the NFC North, the NFL talking shit. Go home.
Right. I love this take from Rajneesh. Rajneesh says that they had a much simpler game plan for Bajent, and that's why he was successful. And this is what they should have done for Justin Fields since last year. I love the take, Rajneesh, but I hate to break it to you. That's exactly what they did for Justin Fields in his first year. Then a new coordinator, he comes in, and they were right on record to saying they're not giving him everything all at once. So they did strip down the playbook for Justin Fields, and he still was not successful. I know that Bear Down Mike is not suffering from Stockholm syndrome and clinging to Justin Fields. Rajneesh, my question for you is, are you clinging to Justin Fields? Is this Tyson Bajent victory enough for you to get off the Justin Fields bandwagon? I just don't understand. Y'all making excuses about the wind, so, okay, I like
Raymond
that.
Peterson said the Lions will take the division. The spanking they got in Butler makes me wonder if they can beat a really good team in the playoffs. We just answered this. We beat good teams. We didn't beat an elite team.
Right.
I mean, there's a big difference between good and elite. You can beat good to really good teams. Elite teams are elite for a reason. That's why I said, I heard a lot of Lions fans last week, oh gosh, because we're 5-1, just like 49ers and Eagles. We're just as good as them.
Yeah.
Philly won, we didn't.
Right.
And more than likely, San Francisco will beat the snot out of Minnesota because, number one, it's in primetime, and we all know that Kirk Prescott will show up.
I don't know. Kirk's a pretty efficient quarterback. I'm not sure.
Not in primetime.
Not sure I agree with that take.
He's 10-19 this year. This is in his career. 10-19.
For Chicago, the determining factor for me was 3 turnovers as well. I mean, you're able to force 3 turnovers by the Raiders, and you're able to run the ball. You're cruising to a victory against a bad team. I love it. Russell Wayne says, Bears deserve to talk some smack. They won. That's 7 days now. They get to run naked in the street, metaphorically. Yeah, bear down, Mike. Don't take that advice and run naked in the street for sure.
I heard that they're already burning cars because they won their second game of the season.
Yeah, I know that every couch in East Lansing is safe this week. So, uh, Raymond
Where
Peters.
did I say that, Rajneesh? Whoa, wait. He says Jeremy just admitted D-Toilet Lions are a one and done in the playoffs if they make it there. Nobody said that. Where
Yeah,
do you hear that? Because guess what? The good teams make it to the wild card round. The great teams get the bye, or the elite team gets the bye, correct? So that means it's anybody's game in the first round.
right.
Fuck, how do you say, boy, you know how to read into fucking stupid real well, don't you?
Don't
Yeah.
forget.
He's attacked me before, so I'm balls out today.
Well,
Fuck it.
Jeremy, you and Rajneesh need to come on the show tonight. We'll be broadcasting
I,
live. It is NFC North Open Mic. It's a bit of a trash talk
hey,
space. We try to do a little more serious analysis in this spot here. But tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, Rajneesh, I invite you to come in and grill Jeremy B. And Jeremy B, I invite you to come back as well tonight and defend yourself tonight
we
on
did
the
this
NFC North
before.
Open Mic.
We did this invite before. I showed up. He didn't.
Oh, is that right?
Like 5 weeks ago when he talked shit
Oh,
about my teeth.
you hear that, Rajneesh? He's calling you yella.
And then
All
the
right.
next show, he apologized for the personal attack. I'm done.
Bear down Mike trying to deflect and say the Raiders are still second in the AFC West.
So oh, yeah. Well, wait.
You didn't beat
first?
a trash team. You didn't beat a trash team. You beat a bad team without their starting quarterback and not good at all. 39 total rushing yards. Devontae Adams did have 7 catches for 57 yards, but really nothing going against your defense, which is in the lower tier, lower third of the NFL. So I wouldn't toot my horn too much on that one, Mike. Go ahead, Jay.
Other than Kansas City, is anybody making the playoffs from the AFC West? It don't look like it.
It does not look like it. A-Dub in the house of Darian West. What's up, A-Dub? What's good, fellas? Love to see a Packer fan here after a tough loss to come in. We're going to transition to that Packer game here in just a second. So the Chicago Bears, they've got two wins under their belt now. Carolina Panthers are on a bye. I mean, we watch closely what Carolina does because obviously the Bears are going to have that pick. So the Bears win as many games as you can. I'm not a proponent of tanking. I don't care how bad my team is. You win as many games as you possibly can. You know the players feel that way. You know the coaches feel that way. The only ones who don't feel that way are owners who are on the take. Bad owners are the only ones who feel that.
That being said, the Panthers lost to the bye week 21-0.
Say that again.
The Panthers lost to the bye week this week 21-0.
So they still have 0 wins.
Yeah.
Bear down, Mike. I love this comment. Bagent's win is great, but if he starts against the Chargers and wins, now we can start having that conversation. Start having that conversation of leaving the kid in and casting Justin Fields off, making Fields a gadget player, maybe get some trade for him. But I know what you're thinking, Bears fan. I know what you're thinking. We're going to trade this guy, and he's going to blow up the league and be an MVP. All that talent, all that ability is going to go to some other team, and that's going to hurt. Trust me, as a Lions fan, I've seen it over and over. The day Eric Ebron made a Pro Bowl, I wanted to jump off a ledge. So I totally get it on that. So
come on now. Eric Ebron only made the Pro Bowl because they threw it to him 49 times in the end zone, and he caught 13.
Doesn't matter. The fact that he was named to the Pro Bowl, this guy had hands like cinder blocks when he was in Detroit. Surefire touchdowns, hits him in the hands, drops it on multiple occasions. First down, as many third downs that were squandered because we ran a play for this guy and he couldn't catch the ball. It was sickening. He goes to Indianapolis with Andrew Luck, becomes a Pro Bowler. Then has a real nice career in Pittsburgh after that. So I get what you're saying there, bear down, Mike. But I think that this is a win for Tyson Bagent against a not horrible team. The Raiders aren't horrible. They beat the Packers, okay? They're not horrible. And I think you really need to take
How do you say you beat a mediocre team without saying you beat a mediocre team?
Right.
The Raiders
I do
beat
love
the
that
Packers.
take, though. If Tyson Bagent, let us know what you think. Put your comment in there. If Tyson Bagent beats the Chargers, are you ready to give up on Justin Fields? Come on, Bears fans. I know you're out there. Justin May, thanks for the comment. Corey says same thing on defense. Then too many excuses, just a bad team loss, period, for sure. These Lions fans are definitely a little salty this morning, with good reason. So let's talk about this Green Bay loss to the Denver Broncos. Denver getting their first win at home under Sean Payton, getting off the schneid. Russell Wilson, a very efficient 20 of 29 for one touchdown. He had a passer rating of only 98.9, though, because he didn't have a whole lot of yards. Jordan Love, not so good. 21 of 31. That's about the league average, folks. For 180 yards. We see this every week with Jordan Love. He's throwing for a completion percentage that's about the league average for less than 200 yards. He has 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, but that interception was huge. It was at the end of the game to seal the game for Denver. And Jordan Love with a passer rating of 90.8. I don't have the drop machine like Russ has, but we can all just say, love stinks. A.J. Dillon, 15 carries, 61 yards. Aaron Jones, the return of Aaron Jones, 8 carries for 35 yards. I got to tell you, A-Dub and the rest of you Packer heads, you're cling to this notion that when Aaron Jones is in the game, you guys are so much better. Well, I hate to break it to you, but in games that Aaron Jones plays, the Green Bay Packers are 15 and 17, below 500, folks. Not good. Are you missing Aaron Rodgers yet, Packers? Do you think maybe with Aaron Rodgers you could have beaten Denver? I hate this for you, but I love it for you at the same time. Jordan Love did spread the ball around. He hit 10 different receivers. That's good. But they only had 331 yards of total offense against the Denver Broncos. Very, very alarming if I'm a Packers fan. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. A-Dub, I'm really looking to hear your analysis on your team. Rajneesh says, well, it's a coaching decision, so the Bears fans' opinions don't matter. That's not true, Rajneesh. This is a fan-driven show. Your opinion matters. It may not matter to the Bears organization, but it matters to this show, and we want to hear it. We want to grill you for your bad take or praise you for your good take. So put your comment in. Let us know what you think. One Funky Lions fan says Ebron went to the Pro Bowl because he had like 180 targets. His drop rate was still the same.
Basically, exactly what I said.
Yeah, basically. But I love the fact that his drop rate was still the same.
It
that's
was
a caveat that you didn't have in your take that I like. Eric Thomas says, need more time to see what Bajik can do. Not sold on the coaches. Yeah, me either, Eric. Even though it's a victory, I have to wonder some of the play calling that happened in that game for Chicago.
Oh, here we go. I got the analogy for you. You say you need more game tape on Tyson Bagent. The first game Justin Fields started, what was the result?
Yeah.
It was a loss, right?
Uh-huh.
The first game Tyson Bagent starts, it's a win. You know what that means? He's a better quarterback coming out of college than Justin was. There's no debate about it. Good Lord.
Wow. Brent DeWitt says, if AG wasn't BFFs with Dan Campbell, would he still have a job? Ooh, that's a toughie.
Is that butt fucking friends? I don't know.
That's a toughie. I think so. I don't think. See, now this is where Jeremy and I are split. I like Aaron Glenn. I defend Aaron Glenn. Defend the Glenn. And Jeremy is not sold on Aaron Glenn. So why don't you address that, Jeremy? Do you think AG would be here if he didn't have such a tight relationship with the coach?
Absolutely not. I wished he'd have taken the head coaching job he was offered a season ago.
Mm-hmm.
When he was rumored to go to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I bet you if you had Aaron Glenn and Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn would probably be a better head coach because he's a very even-keeled guy. He doesn't let his emotions get too high or too low.
Yeah, he was a great player as well. So he brings that perspective of a former player. I think I love that take, Jeremy, that he's going to make a better head coach than he is a defensive coordinator. I don't know if it's true, but I like the take. It's an angle I haven't heard yet. Over 500 yards of offense. That sucks. Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens scorched the Lions for over 500 yards of offense. Not a good look for the Lions on the road. But let's talk about this Green Bay game. Javonte Williams for Denver had 82 yards on 15 carries. They were able to run the ball for 145 yards against Green Bay. So Green Bay also able to run the ball effectively, 137 yards of total rushes. And right down the line, this game, Denver and Green Bay was even on a lot of statistics. The total yardage only separated by 8 yards. Denver actually with more yardage, only by 8 yards. Time of possession, just about even. I think what it comes down to is that final play, that interception that Jordan Love threw to a backup, by the way, a backup safety picked him off to seal the game. I think Jordan Love still has some developing to do. He still has some learning to do. What's your takeaway from this Green Bay game, Jay?
We had a toilet bowl of the week game, and it was actually looked like one, and it was exciting because for the first half, it looked like the Packers weren't going to score.
Right.
I mean, say what you want. Packers caught up in garbage time. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Right. Well, we do have a Packer fan on the show now. Please welcome to the stage, Steve is real. Yeah. Hey, Steve, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing so good, man.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Glad to see a Packer fan on here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you. You know, like I said, I've been away a while. I've been helping a friend out with some horrific things, whatever, and so forth. But
yeah, some horrific things, like worse than a loss to Denver.
well, no, this is that. See that there didn't even bother me because I knew no matter what, our season was lost. Because I mean, we ain't got no team to win the Super Bowl. There's 32 teams in the league, and everybody's playing for that Super Bowl championship. And I knew no matter what, we had no shot for it. So, like I said, I know there's a lot of things we got to clean up, and so forth. So, like I said, I'm real about this. And to me, I'm gonna say for you Lions fans, I think that game there. Don't take us the wrong way. The way you got punched in the mouth, I think you needed that. This could be a wake-up call because now, one, it didn't hurt you mathematically because one, it wasn't a conference loss and it wasn't a divisional loss. Mm-hmm. So it's a loss, and you guys want to get a few more of those probably down the line. So that's mathematically, you guys really ain't hurting. This could be like you said with Dan Campbell. This could light a fire under the Lions' ass. Hey, look, we just got punched in the mouth. Now let's go punch back.
Right.
Okay.
And that's a great take, Steve. And that's exactly what Dan Campbell said in his post-game press conference, that, hey, maybe we needed this. You know, maybe we needed this as a reality check. And he said he will be very ashamed if this loss doesn't fire them up and that spills over into next week's Raider game. He fully expects that. Steve, right. I want to ask you this question. Rajneesh, he's a Bear fan. He says, who cares about Green Bay? Screw that team. I told y'all they were done when Aaron Rodgers left. So you said your expectations for this team weren't that high. You knew you weren't going to the Super Bowl. Do you agree with Rajneesh that it's the departure of Aaron Rodgers is what changed that?
No.
Oh, well, then what changed it? What's different from this team than last year? I mean, you didn't make any big splash free agencies, but Green Bay never does. You drafted, pretty well. I liked your draft. So what's the difference if it's not Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love?
It's a lot of one. We're a young team. Okay, there's the
youngest, yes.
Yeah, and to me, there's really still. I mean, I played football, and to me, when I see there's no chemistry. I see a lot of these dink and dunk plays. I see a lot of these rickery plays that's happening. Like it's still about. I'm saying the last play is 3rd and 20. We got 2 plays to get it in field goal range. I mean, Carson could kick a 60-yard field goal, no problem. He shows He has the leg. And when he threw the ball deep down the field into double coverage and it gets intercepted again, that just tells me right there, okay, what is going on? What is he thinking? I mean, this is like playing Madden. You got the 99 overall ratings and you drop back and you just want to fling the ball down, hook, whatever. And I'm like, what is he doing? Every Packer fan was saying that. Why is the ball being thrown deep down the field on 3rd and 20 when you have 2 plays, 2 chances to get the ball in field goal range?
Right.
I mean, I agree. I think it was Corey Patterson or who was it, Newsom or someone in the comments saying that the Packers will finish last in this division. I'm going to agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to, bar none.
Right. Did you happen to see on that last play how wide open A.J. Dillon was down the
Yeah.
left sideline?
I saw
wide open.
Yeah, I saw. I'm like, thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Yes. I mean,
Thank you.
you had enough time.
Right.
Your kicker's got the leg. Your
Right.
quarterback just he didn't go to his check down. He threw into double coverage. That cost you the game. Now, those are the things that a young quarterback can develop and overcome.
Right.
I think Jordan Love is the future of the Green Bay Packers. I'm not liked by Lions fans for having that take, but what I see from the kid is he doesn't get rattled. He picks himself up. He throws it. He's got arm talent. He's got escapability. I think the kid's going to be a good quarterback. He's just taken his lumps. I mean, Aaron Rodgers only won 6 games in his first year as well. Let's talk to another Packer fan. A-Dub's got this comment. Our struggle this season are mostly centered around lack of a run defense, as the Packers are the most run-on team in the NFL. And then questionable play calling. Our coaches are in the hot seat at the moment. A-Dub, that's such a great take. Thank you so much. Steve, I want to hear your reaction to that take. Are the coaches on the hot seat as a Packer fan for you?
Well, when I watched LaFleur's press conference, something I can, I'm pretty good at reading people when I watch them. And something's telling me in his face, I think he's like, okay, I'm in trouble. If I don't change things, I'm in trouble. I mean, I can see it in his face because the redness, his eyes are watery. I mean, I know he's upset and whatever. And is it in the back of his mind? Like, if this doesn't turn around, and if like if we finish last in its division, if we don't win another game, let's just say. Now, I know you said earlier through the weeks and stuff, our schedule gets easier down the line.
Correct.
But if we just lost practically to the worst team in the league from what people say, whatever. But if we don't win another game, this is going to get really ugly.
Yeah, but when I said your schedule was soft, I was counting Denver.
Right.
Right.
So
and you couldn't beat Denver. That sucks.
Coming up, you got Minnesota. You got Minnesota, the Rams, and the Steelers, and the Chargers, and the Lions, and the Chiefs. It's going to get tough, man. You needed that Denver. You needed that win at Denver. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Don't they have another game versus the Bears, too, who are improving?
Last game.
Yeah, but it's the last game of the season.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But anyways, Sarah comes in, beat down Mike. That's going to be hard. Green Bay don't really sign free. Oh, Bear Down Mike is who she was talking to, because Bear Down says he thinks the Packers need a vet wide receiver, and he's right. They cut all of them. Now all they got are rookies and UDFAs, but they don't sign free agents typically. And in this draft for the Packers, when they took Luke Van Ness, even though I like the player, I said it was a mistake. Because he's exactly what they have on that D-line across the board, a pass rusher. They had nobody for run stuffing, and they had one of the worst run defenses last year. So by not getting a player that helps your scheme get better on what you're weak at, it was a bad fit.
Well, that's like another thing I noticed yesterday, too. It was like the disappearance of Rashawn Gary. Like, where was he at?
Oh, Rashawn Gary's never been good in the run game. That's why you guys have had a
but to get back there and to get a hold of, I mean, I know Wilson's one of them screaming quarterbacks as well, but like I said, you didn't really hear Rashawn Gary's name at all.
I haven't seen that Russ in 2 seasons. I don't know what you're talking about, because last week looked like the Russell Wilson that won a Super Bowl the way he ran through your defense. He hasn't ran like that in 2 seasons because he's been hurt the last 2 years. So he's been like scared to run. He ran through contact. It was crazy.
I know this might be early to say this, but one thing that I'm chomping at is more likely we're going to be in the top 10 in the draft, in the top 10 picks. The guy that I'm wanting bad is I want John Alt, the left tackle from the University of Notre Dame.
Okay.
He's one of the best.
How's that going to help your run defense?
Well, you know what though? It's going to take time. You can't put a team together all in one year. This team is going to have to be built. The team's going to have to be built through many seasons. It's just going to have to. Now, getting Lucas Van Ness for the future could be one thing, because Preston Smith, basically what they're looking at, he's going to be out the door sooner or later. So now there's Van Ness could take his spot and with other guys. You got to build this team. This team is a young team.
Yeah,
and
the youngest team in the league, actually, Steve. And that's a great point. Hey, A-Dub, you're a Packer fan here with Steve. He thinks you take a left tackle if you get a top 10 pick. Are you on board with that? What do you think that the Packers would be looking for in a?
Well, when I look at it, tackle definitely is a need, especially when it's more than likely we're moving on from Bakhtiari at the left because he could not keep himself healthy long enough to impact his team the way we need him to. So if he can't stay healthy, at some point you got to move on from him and try to find somebody more suitable for his position. Okay. So, yeah, I think a left tackle is possible.
Okay. All right. Sarah is in the comments. Hey, Sarah, she's a Vikings fan. Glad to see her in here today. This weekend was weird as heck. It sure was. Yeah. I gave a lock pick. I lost. I bet on Jameson to get only 2 receptions. I lost. I said, take the Lions +3. That was way off. And if you look around the league, the Packers losing to Denver, I don't have it in front of me, but there were a lot of strange games. Every year in the NFL, there's a couple of weeks that just don't follow the script. And week 7 in 2023 was one of those. A lot of teams covered the spread when they were huge underdogs. This was a week that Vegas made a lot of money. Our good friend, Sir Slap Nasty Grove Teague says, Love needs 4 more years of studying. He's been on the bench already for 3.5 years. Love needs 4 more years of studying. Lions defense played scared of Lamar. Lions lost by relinquishing aggressiveness on O and D. I agree with that. They did not look like the hungry Lions that they looked like in these past few weeks. Let's go through some of these comments before I get too far behind. Rob Kesner says the Lions were way off their game, and that's where Goff's downfall is. He has issues moving around. He sure does, and his pocket awareness was terrible yesterday. He had guys open in the flat. He had checkdowns. He seemed to zero in on a receiver and lock in on him and make himself predictable. I did not like the way Jared Goff played yesterday. It looked like the old Goff from 2021. The defense looked like it came right off of 2021 as well.
Damn, Sarah went harsh there.
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Instead of bear down Mike, it's beat down Mike. That's going to be hard. Sarah, with a little savageness today. Green Bay don't really sign free agents. That's true. They don't do a lot in the free agent market. They don't make splash signings, and they draft very conservatively as well. You would never see Green Bay do something like the Lions moving up to take an injured player or something like that, a gamble. Whether you like it or don't like it, I'm just saying the Packers, that is not a Packer-esque move. Corey says they had 0 pass rush against Lamar. Recipe for disaster. Absolutely. But then again, you also got to hold your assignments. Go ahead, Jeremy.
You guys say we had 0 pass rush, but they mentioned it all game. There was like 12 plays where we had pressure and Lamar escaped it. So that is a pass rush. It just wasn't a blitz because all we did was run our base 4 defense and rush the linemen as usual. There wasn't a 5th player who could have been a freewheeler to get to Lamar early. That's where I had a problem with yesterday's game.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, because when your first defender is getting to the quarterback 4.5 seconds after the snap, that's not getting pressure, Jeremy. You're not getting pressure at 4.5 seconds before he even gets somebody in his face. Going to have to disagree with you on that. Love your takes as usual, though. Sarah says, where's Russ today? Russ is in a vehicle on an 11-hour drive from Baltimore with 6 other disheartened Lions fans. I'm filling in for him today. I hope I do a good enough job. Put it in the comments. Let me know I suck. That's okay. I can take it. I have thick skin, I'll have you know. People are calling him Matt LaFraud.
I've been calling him Matt LaFluke for 3 seasons since we went 1 and ever since they've won 1 game against us.
Sarah dropping
A-Dub knows it too.
Rajanish says you traded Devontae Adams and Rodgers saw this a mile away. He says he saw this a mile away. I got a question for you, A-Dub. What was your biggest takeaway of the game yesterday? Was it being able to have the ball run on you, or was it, conservative play calling? You blame the coaches, the quarterback. A-Dub, where are you putting the blame on this loss?
pretty much goes both ways on offense and defense. Like, we didn't have a run defense. That has been an issue for us for years so far. So far, you would think at some point somebody who we bring in as a DC would have had that issue fixed by now, but unfortunately it's still a problem nowadays, especially when you hear the announcers say it best for you that we're the most run-on team in the NFL, so that definitely poses a problem for you.
So just to be clear, you're putting it on the coaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely the coach's issue in terms of play calling being atrocious for us out there just as much.
Okay. Steve, what feet do you lay this loss at?
I have to agree.
It's not Jordan Love's fault.
Well, I mean,
he didn't help.
That last play, is the only thing that I'm going to throw on Love. To throw it down the field like that on 3rd and 20, when, like you said, what's his name was wide open. I saw a few other key matchups that could have happened, and he goes down. I mean, that there, I have to put it on Love. I mean, why? I mean, now was he told to do that? Was that his choice? I don't know how that works on the field, but that last play, when you have 3rd and 20, 2 chances to get in field goal range, you have a kicker who can kick pretty far. And you do that, that's on Love. That's on Love. There's no other way you can take it. You can put it.
All right, so he's splitting the blame. I like it. Brent says, I like the way all the North fans show up even after a loss, except John Dorn. Ha ha!
Well, bam! There it is. That's what I was laughing at.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, some of these Packer fans cannot take it. They cannot take the heat, and they bailed out on us with a big middle finger on their way out the door because we were their punching bag for so many years, and now we're finally on top of this division. Lions fans are giving it to them hard, and not all of the fan bases are thick-skinned like that. Not all of the fans can take it. Lions fans, when you tell us our team sucks, we've been hearing that our whole lives. We are immune to that, man. That means nothing to us.
When was the last time you guys won the division?
1993.
93?
No, 93 we lost it and lost in the first round of the Eagles.
Oh, that's
91 right. We won a game and lost in the
that's right.
Yep.
93 we won the division and were completely obliterated by the Eagles in that game, but 91 was last time we won a playoff game. So good call.
Was that a playoff game where Favre threw the ball deep down the field to Sharp?
No.
Okay.
That was 97, I believe, or 90.
96, they went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. We made the playoffs 4 times with Barry Sanders. We made the playoffs 3 times with Calvin Johnson. You want to know what the difference is? There was no depth behind those guys.
Right.
This year, we've got something we haven't seen in forever, which is depth. Are we going to have games where the team just doesn't show up? It's going to happen. It happens to every team because any given Sunday, somebody shows up and looks like a world beater.
Yeah, and on that, that's a great segue onto Sarah's comment here. She says she won't be here tomorrow because San Francisco murdered them. Minnesota Vikings playing at home against San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football tonight, of course. Hold on, Jeremy. But like you said, Sarah, what a crazy week it's been. It would not surprise me. San Fran is really banged up. No Deebo Samuel. McCaffrey's begging to play, but they're talking about they probably won't let him. So what a weird week. This is topsy-turvy week. I would not be all that surprised if the Vikings beat San Francisco tonight. That would be glorious. I am rooting for the Purple Skittle Eaters tonight. Jeremy, what was you going to say?
I was exactly what you were just saying. I said it would not surprise me because Purdy doesn't play well without everybody in the lineup. McCaffrey might not play. So if you guys upset and then you come in here talking shit, I'm not going to be as impressed as if you lost and represented your team still.
Right. And Corey's got a great comment here. He says, I feel like when Jordan Love plays, he makes 3 or 4 good throws, and the rest you're like, what the F is he doing or thinking? And I want to say, Corey, that is a symptom of a young quarterback. You'll see that every rookie quarterback. I know he's not a rookie, but essentially this is his first year. He's essentially a rookie. You see that right there, what you're saying, every young quarterback. Peyton Manning and his rookie year. You could have easily put this comment on Peyton Manning's rookie year.
Aaron Rodgers' first year.
Aaron Rodgers' first year. So I think this only highlights my point that I like what I see from Jordan Love. He's got the tools. He doesn't get rattled. He looks like he belongs out there. And those things, like you're saying there, are fixable things that come with experience. Mike says, for the Packers, maybe a third or fourth for Judy or Sutton. I don't agree with this. I think you got a good young receiving core. Jerry Judy, he's just a guy, it turns out. Cortland Sutton had 6 catches yesterday for 76 yards and a touchdown. He's a mid-tier guy. I like Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson better than either one of those guys, honestly, when you look at the upside. Either AW, you want to respond to that? Do you think the Packers need a veteran wide receiver?
To some degree, I think they would, in terms of getting the young guys up to speed and at least elevating their game a bit, because like you say, there is an experience, not just with Jordan Love, but even with our receiving core. Like the majority of it is a bunch of one-year guys and rookies who still are trying to find their way on a learning curve now. So, a veteran presence at receiver will help them in some ways to develop their game.
It's good take, A-Dub. Sarah throwing haymakers this morning. I forgot to bench Fields on my fantasy team. Oof. I got my ass whooped almost as bad as the Lions did. Oh,
we like that.
Love it. Paul says we got killed on the line of scrimmage. I'm assuming he's talking about Baltimore and the Lions, because we certainly did.
I thought he was an MSU fan posing as a Michigan fan.
Did you see the meme with they pull like the Scooby-Doo thing where they pull the mask off of the Lions and it's really the Spartans?
Yeah, I saw that. Beautiful.
Brent DeWitt says, I hate it when Lions get out-coached. I think they got out-coached. I think they got out-coached too. When their misdirection and their play action is working so good, it's because your offense is zigging when the defense is zagging. They absolutely out-coached us, I believe. Here we go. Kenneth says, counted at least 8 holding penalties committed by the Ravens that wasn't called. Yeah, that was just on 2 series, but we're not going to talk about that. So never apologize, Sarah. That's the first rule in trash talk. Never apologize. And the second rule of trash talk is if you quit, we win.
How odd is this going to be? If the Vikings lose tonight, the Bears will be the only team in the North that wins this week.
It'd be much like week 1 of the it'd be much like week 1 of the NFL when the Lions were the only team that won.
Oh, thanks for the comment, Brent. I'm doing fine. Maybe I should make a living out of this. I don't know. Sarah, we won't tell him that you said that. Corey Patterson, I don't know how I accidentally put this on the screen. My finger just slipped on the button. Sorry. And Corey says, I love your take. The longer he's there, the better our chances are. Absolutely. You got to let Jordan Love develop. I think you guys got a winner there, which is surprising because he did come from that quarterback factory, Utah State. Jordan says, did we just give Baltimore the confidence to be a monster contender? They are happy as shit beating a 5-1 team after all the recent media attention. I love that take, Jordan, and that's a good one because you know what? That AFC North, one of the toughest divisions in the league, inarguably one of the toughest divisions. They are leading that division, and one of the knocks, and I'm a member of all these trash talk groups, one of the knocks on the Ravens from the other fan bases is they didn't play anybody. They haven't played anyone this year that was worth a shit. And now beating the Lions is going to give them some street cred. It is going to give them some ammunition for the fan base to fire back on. I do believe that Baltimore could use this as a launching pad to make themselves one of the top seeds in the AFC this year. Jeremy, what do you think of that take?
Did we? We probably did. Because offensively, they hadn't been playing that well. The defense has been decent all season. So we might have given that offense the confidence it needs to move forward and dominate that AFC North, because they haven't been dominant for a few years offensively. And to be honest, they're only going to be dominant as long as Lamar stays healthy. If somebody gets pressure, aka the Browns, they're in trouble.
I feel like Lamar Jackson is a puzzle. And when you can figure out the puzzle, you can beat the Ravens. And some teams are able to do that. I don't know what the formula it is, but he looked so good yesterday. I mean, every time, he's tall. He's taller than you think he is. When you see him standing there against those offensive linemen, he's taller than them. He could see the field so well. He keeps his eyes downfield. I always defended Lamar when people try to call him a running quarterback. He's got the arm to beat you. You better believe it. And if you didn't know that, you just watch that game yesterday and you will know it.
And
Did you guys have any key guys get hurt?
No, we had a special teams player get hurt.
We also had Mohamed Ibrahim, was a running back that we called up because we have some injuries at the running back. He had surgery last night. He stayed in Baltimore. So all of us here at the main event wishing Mo Ibrahim a speedy recovery. I can't wait to see him back on the field. It's a bummer. He finally gets that phone call. Hey, we need you. They bring him in, they sign him, and he gets hurt.
Well, he's had a laundry list of injuries ever since back in high school. It sucks for the young man. It does. But to say it wasn't expected that he'd get hurt is a whole different story. But, he had a 22-yard kick return, so it looked like he was going to be doing good, but he was upended and ended up hurt. That's the moral of the story there. But, everybody who's read my articles about the Lions and read my game reviews, I always put a dig line, whether it's against the Lions or against the team we played. Mine was about the O-line and Jared Goff. The O-line allowed 5 sacks and so many pressures. Jared Goff may have PMSTSD, post-Matthew Stafford traumatic stress disorder. If that would have been a dome stadium, he could have told the maintenance crew if they were missing rivets.
Nice. Tyler, I want to give this question to the Packer fans here. Tyler Hubner says, I think Packers should play Clifford next game and bench Love. A-Dub, should they bench Jordan Love and slow his development? I hate the take, but I love the question.
No, not at all. Because even if you change faces at QB, it doesn't necessarily address and cover every other issue you're going to have on the field. Because instead of just inexperience at that receiving position, you're still going to have inexperience at the QB spot. Put in a rookie like that right away, even though he did look impressive in preseason, I'm not sure how much of that carries on to this season to where he's ready to take over yet.
Well, that's a good take. Steve, do you think Jordan Love should be benched?
No, big mistake.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you bench Jordan Love, you are essentially giving up on the season. It's only week 7, okay?
Right.
Don't give up on the season.
But you can't do that to him.
Right.
That you just can't do that to Love. His mindset,
right?
Everything
that could break him. I agree. He looks like he could be a starter in this league, and I think that would be the worst thing you could do. I love the comment, Tyler, but I think that would be the worst thing for Green Bay is to slow this kid's development. I mean, he needs to know what it's like to go to Detroit on Thanksgiving and lose.
I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Steve. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm just saying. I don't know if anybody remembers this. I mean, I remember Troy Aikman's rookie year. They went 1-15.
Yeah, good call. And you could see even then though that Troy Aikman was a good distributor of the ball.
Right.
He made good decisions. He had the arm strength, and that's what I think. Jordan Love. You can see the potential there. You got to leave him in. Try to get through this year with as many wins as you can, and hope that he progresses next year. Jeremy, did you have a take on that?
No. We already talked about that. Every season the Vikings win a game they aren't supposed to. You can say that about any team in the league.
True.
It's not just the Vikings. It's not just the Lions. It's not just the Bears. Everybody wins a game that nobody expects them to win. Everybody loses a game that nobody expects them to lose. It happens every season. We have 2 topsy-turvy weeks like this where the whole NFL gets flipped upside down. The wrong team wins and the right team loses.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that's what happened with the Baltimore game. I'm saying this was just one of those games that makes everybody go, what the fuck is wrong with your team?
Right.
And it happens.
And to your point, Jeremy, every team does that, a la the Lions beating the Chiefs in week 1. Most people had us taking an L there, myself included. I thought it was going to be a close game. The Lions would lose. I was wrong as usual. And Sarah makes a good point. The Vikings have already lost to the Chiefs and the Eagles. Wow. That's the perils. That's the price you pay for winning the division. The schedule makers are not kind to you the next year. I think we all saw this coming for the Vikings when they lost all those players on defense. But like I said, like Jeremy just said, those topsy-turvy couple of weeks of the season, they are upon us here in week 7. And honestly, I would not put any money on this Vikings-Niners game. I see this as a trap. I see this as a trap for the Niners. I would just leave this one alone. I love this one. Corey says, Lamar Jackson had 10 seconds. I think he even ordered a pizza back there, and the guy actually delivered it. How it was delivered it. How was there a pass rush? Yeah, there was no pass rush. I think we all agree here. Here's one from Paul. He wrote us a novel. It says, the Lions are a good team with a weak scheduled division. They'll make the playoffs and may even host a game. But considering the lack of talent that they'll play going forward, they won't improve considerably. Once the playoffs arrives, what you saw in the first half of today's game should be your expectation. Going to have to disagree with that. You want to shred that take for me, Jeremy?
I mean, how can you say that? It's one game we had a bad outing. And yes, we've already played 2 other playoff teams. Say what you want. Possibly a third, because didn't Tampa Bay play good? But lost a close game to Atlanta this past week?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I love Sarah's comments.
I know, me too.
But I love this comment here because that needs to be talked about. The one that Detroit Fan Man brought up. OBJ ran his helmet through Kirby Joseph's face. How long is KJ going to be out with that crazy, illegal, unpenalized hit? He only had to come out a series or 2. He had to go through concussion protocol. He was back on the field towards the end of the game, so he wasn't out.
Yeah, I know that Kirby's banged up, though, because he made a play out of bounds, and he got up limping and holding his hip, and that's that same hip injury that cost him a couple of games earlier this season. So I know Kirby is not 100% healthy. Getting Brian Branch back was great, but, boy, I would really love to see this defense if we had C.J. Gardner-Johnson in it. Probably wouldn't have made a difference yesterday the way the Lions were playing, but it definitely would help us in the situation that Paul is talking about here. We might have CJ back for that run, so that will be interesting to see. All right, moving on. I'm not actually familiar with the OBJ and Kirby play. I can't comment on that because I really don't know anything about that.
It was near the goal line. He lowered his head, and he punched the crown of his face mask right through Kirby Joseph's face mask. The crown of his helmet through the face mask of Kirby.
It broke the face mask?
Damn near. I mean, it laid out Kirby for a second, so he had to go to the tent to get into concussion protocol because that's automatic, that type of hit. But it went unpenalized, and it should have been an ejection because he actually did it forcibly.
Head to head.
Yeah, head to head.
Funny thing is, we
go ahead, A-Dub.
I was about to say, when you speak of that, we had an experience almost like that with the game against Denver. When it came to one of our tight ends, Luke Musgrave suffering that kind of hit from Kareem Jackson.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Kareem Jackson consequently was ejected from the game, his second ejection of the season. And the guy they brought in to replace him is the guy that got the interception to seal the game at the end. So Sarah pointing out, it's okay. We need an easy schedule next season with our rookie quarterback. Whoa.
Hey, she's not wrong.
Whoa. I mean, they're tossing. Look, man, I'm sorry, Sarah, but Kirk Cousins been carrying your team. I don't care what anyone says. I do not
Well,
care.
she's excited because when they draft Michael Pinks Jr. next year from Washington, she's going to be happy.
But he's got a laundry list of injuries just like Mo Ibrahim. He may last in the NFL like Carson Strong did last year. Carson Strong went to the USFL this past season, so that tells you everything.
You did make that point a few days ago when they were pulling up Mo Ibrahim that he had a lot of miles on him from college. He got, so many carries at the University of Minnesota, led the Big Ten in rushing, that you called that out a couple of days ago. And as soon as he went down with that injury, you were the first thing I thought of, Jeremy, was You know, Jeremy pointed that out. The guy's got a lot of tread on the
Well,
little tread on the tires. So we might be looking at the
Man.
same thing from the Washington quarterback. He's got a lot of miles on him, right? He's taken a lot of hits already, and he's not even a pro yet. But Sarah, ready to get rid of Kirk Cousins already. I love it.
Well, I was going to say for that, as far as that comment goes, I was going to mention they already had a rookie QB behind Cousins they could test right now.
Who's
And
that?
they traded
Jared.
away.
Kellen Mond? Kellen Mond?
No, Kellen Mond's gone. The rookie from BYU.
Yeah, Jared Hall,
Yeah.
the one they
okay.
drafted.
Yeah. And he's on the bench.
'Cause
He made the team.
Yeah, I'm just remembering that's just what I recall. I thought they already drafted a QB this past draft before.
Yeah, but he was a lower round draft pick. I mean,
so was Tom Brady.
Sarah's talking about first. All right, Steve. No more Tom Brady references. Sorry.
Sorry.
Lions need to lick their wounds and take out the Raiders. I agree with you there. Bear down, Mike. Russell Wayne says, great show, Mike. Love stinks. Russell Wayne in a car right now traveling from Baltimore. It probably smells like armpit and Mountain Dew in that car. I feel like.
Little swamp ass.
Singles or Jeremy's apartment, one or the other. The Singles
yeah.
Dad Club said yesterday versus the Ravens was a pure Murphy's Law scenario. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong. I have to agree there. Oh boy, Sarah going out on a ledge. If we lose this week, bench Kirk Cousins and play Hall the rest of the season. Yeah, because then Kirk would get hurt and might get hurt and you wouldn't get anything when you trade him. I don't understand this, man. If Kirk Cousins played for the Detroit Lions, we'd build a statue of him outside of Ford Field. Okay, he's carrying your franchise, and you guys are ready to throw him away. I love it. Jeremy, we're gonna about to sign off here. You got any closing arguments, or where can people see you?
You can find me at Smokin' Jeremy on Twitter. You can find my writings on the South Florida Tribune under the Motor City Tribune heading. You can find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions. Excuse me, I had to change it because people with Detroit Lions in their name are starting to slowly get that whole trademark infringement thing, and their channels are being removed. So if you have Detroit Lions in your title and you're a podcaster, I'm trying to help you.
I appreciate that.
Change it.
So it is Kneecap Biting
with the Motor City Lions.
Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions. Don't worry, you won't see me on the show because Jeremy never invites me. Be sure to follow our page, Detroit Lions Villain Squad. And like us on YouTube at ManeEvent 365. Steve is real. Yeah. Thanks for being on the show. A-Dub, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Russell Wayne will be back tomorrow. He will be back the rest of this week at 11 a.m. It's Football Talk with Russell Wayne every weekday at 11 a.m. Don't forget, tonight it's the NFC North Open Mic Night with yours truly as the host, talking smack. Hope to see some of you in there tonight. Thanks, everybody, for the comments. God bless each and every one of you. One pride. Peace out.
You all be safe.
Catch y'all later.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.
All right, this is our overtime session. I don't know if anybody's on. It looks like we still got 17 people watching, so I love that. Oh, now I can see we got 12 people watching on Main Event Football Talk on our YouTube. Please like the video if you would, please. Also, we got 2 watching on Detroit Lions News. Like the video, subscribe. Main Event Mike saying, take care.